There's 6 sciences we're going to focus on at the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. First one is agricultural and agronomical science. There is no culture without agriculture. We're going to teach our kids how to grow crops, how to sustain them, how to test the soil for nutritional content. Are you not aware that agribusiness is the #1 business on the face of the earth? More money is made selling food than anything else. This ain't just about health and diet, it's about economic empowerment. In order for your child to graduate from my school, he or she will have to be able to grow 6 fruits and 6 vegetables in their house. Because you can have a garden even if you ain't got a backyard. No excuses. We're talking about sustaining life. I got 6 college degrees and can't grow anything. Miseducation. The next science, political and military science. That's right. We're going to teach your young men how to shoot. We're going to teach them how to stab. We're going to teach them how to start fires. But we're going to teach them it responsibly. God forbid, I would never want your son to have to lift up a weapon to take another person's life. But guess what? I know the times we live in are critical. And if somebody comes through that front door and that 9-year-old boy is in there and he has the responsibility of protecting his mother and his little sister, I need him to be able to pick up that damn rifle, load it the hell up, and blow his damn brains out. Yes, I said it. Our boys got to be able to defend community and family. Black people running around, I don't do weapons. Then you don't do reality. Jesus Christ had no weapons. Jesus Christ didn't live in 2013 Toronto either. We got to be realistic. Political science. I'm going to teach your young people that the reason why the AIDS virus is the #1 killer of black women on the face of the earth, 38 to 58, is because it was manufactured by the United States Army Bioweapons Lab in Fort Detrick, Maryland, to be used as a population control weapon. I'm going to teach our sons the reason why we got so much effeminization and homosexuality and lesbianism is because it's being pushed as a population control weapon. Some of you confused about the homosexual hustle. You think it got something to do with family and love and people being born with certain genetic predispositions. Wrong! Homosexuality is about African extermination. If every black man in this audience decided to only cohabitate with a black man, that means your DNA, your ancestors will never be rebirthed. If every woman in this audience decides to only cohabitate with another woman, that means what? That your ancestors will never be rebirthed. Homosexuality is African extermination. Point blank, period. I had a brother email me not too long ago, a sexually confused brother. He said, Dr. Umar, I love your work. I watch you on YouTube. I love it. But I got one problem with you. I'm homosexual and you say we can't be in the freedom struggle, that I'm not allowed to be a Pan-African nationalist. Why can't I be a nationalist just because I'm gay? Well, let's look at that, my brother. Let's look at the word nationalism. The word nationalism comes from the same root as the word nature, which means to procreate, to reproduce, to project oneself into the future. So if you practice homosexuality, which means you do not reproduce, you do not procreate, how can you be a nationalist, which is for life, when you practice homosexuality, which is anti-life? He said, I never looked at it like that. I said, I know. Go do some study and come on back. That doesn't mean we should hurt or harm none of our sexually confused brothers and sisters. I do therapy with gay and lesbian girls. I work with them. And I'm not going to ostracize them because I know so many of them came to sexual confusion because we don't know how to choose babysitters for our kids. And we like to leave our kids with anybody. 95% of all the gay and lesbian kids I've ever met in my life as a professional school psychologist were sexually molested as children by blood relatives prior to the 12th birthday. So I know where this stuff is coming from. You gotta watch who you leave your kids with. Some of us are too easy with our children, exposing them to all types of situations, and now we got more kids molesting kids than we got adults molesting kids. 7-year-old boy found on top of his 2-year-old cousin. Where did he get that idea from? He wasn't born with it. I'll tell you where he got it from. Some of us are letting children sit around adult conversations. Some of us are letting children listen to sexually explicit music. Some of us are letting children watch sexually explicit movies. So you put the idea in their head, they get curious because they babies. Well, I heard mommy and daddy talking about this. This is supposed to feel good. Let me try it on my cousin. So the sin is not on the baby, the sin is on us. Political and military science. We're going to teach your young men how to hunt, how to start a fire without no matches. If he ain't got drinkable water, how to clean out of his own urine and make it drinkable. Survival skills. Tomorrow not promised for African people. Go ahead. You know how many martial law executive orders President Obama has signed? Guaranteed in the next 10 years you're going to get a crisis in North America worse than anything you've seen in the Middle East. By design. What's the next thing we want to teach your children? Dietary and nutritional science. How to eat to live. What good is knowing how to grow bananas if you don't want to eat them? What good is knowing how to grow garlic if you don't want to use it? So we got to teach them the science of eating healthy, because 85% of Africans in North America are dying from preventable diet-related illnesses. Look at all the people we got checking out. 30 years old, heart attack. 25, stroke. Them damn chicken wings. Killings. We got to do a little bit better with this. 8-year-old kids with obesity, we got to do a little bit better than this. So we're going to teach them the science of sustaining life. The next science, financial and economic science. What am I talking about? Africans in North America, we are financially illiterate and we know it. Yeah. So we're going to fix that in my school. By the time your child finishes the 9th grade, he will know how to do his own taxes. At 14, by the time he finishes the 10th grade, he will have mastered the real estate market of Toronto. At 15, a real estate guru. By the time he finished the 11th grade, he will have an impeccable business plan that he would be able to take to any bank and get $1 million loan for his business, because it's going to be impeccable with a 5-year projected revenue statement. By the time he finishes the 12th grade, he will have mastered the stock market of China, London, Wall Street, Nigeria, and South Africa. My school is going to be based on the assumption that none of your children need to go to college, because college is the latest hustle if you ain't been paying attention. Everybody sending their damn kids to college. For what? It ain't no more jobs in North America. That's why they bringing Mexicans over here. Koreans to replace you in the workforce, because they no longer want us around. And the best way to kill a people is to starve them economically. So we got to have financial and economic science. Are you aware that the top richest 1% of people living in North America don't even have to get up and go to work? They live on everybody else's labor while you're struggling to make ends meet. Go ahead. There's a science to money, and our kids got to be taught it. You can have $1 million and lose it in 6 weeks if you don't know the science of money. On the flip side, you can be broke in 6 weeks and get it all back in the next 6 if you know the science. My school will be based on science. And what's the next science we're going to give them? The science of the black man and the science of the black woman. Our young boys got to study our young daughters like goddesses. Her menstrual cycle, why does she have one? Why is it 28 days like the moon? What is her relationship with the moon? What is her relationship with the waters? Why was the black woman the first symbol ever used on earth for God? Why do we refer to God in the feminine essence for 2 million years before we ever called God He? We're going to teach this. Because an African boy who can respect the divinity of the black woman won't have a male-female relationship problem. And the girls are going to study the boys like the gods that they are. Why does he go through puberty? Why does his voice get deep? Why do you carry the egg, but he carries the seed? So by the time they're done, they'll have so much respect for each other because she will understand she cannot exist without him. And he will understand he cannot exist without her. And what's the sixth science that my school is going to be based on? Sixth science is spiritual and astrological science.